This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. This week on the Partnership Podcast, Lauren and I end up having a difficult discussion about bills and the mortgage. There's a lot of pauses in this one. Nothing's broken, just there's a lot of pauses. Enjoy.
To exist in your dream space to go, wow, how cool, my body's working it out anyway. Like, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Sure. Is it okay if we have a money talk real quick?
Sure.
You okay?
Yes, go.
Can we get more aggressive on the mortgage, and then could you contribute to the mortgage?
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be a big amount by any means. I just want to take bigger chunks out of paying off the house, and I'd love because when we got into it, it was like, hey, we're going to do this equal. And I mean, I know the money dynamic has been different. You've been starting the business, but now that you're having like success, it's just been, it's been bugging me. Not bugging me, but it's like, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not bugging me where it's like, I would love some help. I guess maybe that's more accurate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need us to sit down and have like a rediscussion then. Like, yeah. I do not do well with I would love to sit down, look at what the business is bringing in. Yeah. And I know when the business has contributed, it's gone to principal. Like, is that what you're still interested in? Or are you interested in me stepping into paying, half of the normal mortgage as if we're splitting rent, I would like to just sit down and have a real numbers talk. I do so well on a true, like a decision, an agreement. I don't do well on nuance. You do whatever you can. That doesn't feel good in my body. That feels elusive, like I'm walking into a trap.
Okay.
So let's just sit down and look at numbers and, because I think I hear you saying, as long as I am contributing what feels comfortable to me, that's good. So why don't I just give you a hard and fast number?
Okay.
Because I don't want you to feel that way at all. And maybe, I know you want to do it aggressively, but maybe you could describe to me what the goal would be.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if you have a goal in your head. Because I don't like debt either, but the one form of quote unquote debt that I'm okay having is a mortgage. I've had a mortgage before, for over a decade before, so that's not on to me.
The fun thing is for me where my mind goes is even if we go $500 over minimum, I think it takes 5 or 6 years off of and then if you take 5 or 6 years off it, I mean, this is math out of my ass, but then it's you save $30,000 to $50,000 in interest. And I hate paying interest at banks. I don't like paying the $10. Wells Fargo, I think, still charges me $10 a month for the fucking privilege to use their bullshit. And it bothers me. Or other things, I'll happily give.
Right.
Whatever.
You're generous.
I'll tip like a motherfucker at RP, but that stuff really, for the right or the privilege to use fucking Wells Fargo? I remember they said, oh no, we do a $500 maximum on Zelle. We just at first, because we really want to kind of establish a relationship. And I go, you mean you want to establish a relationship on what I can do with my money?
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, anyway, so I would love to do that. And then it comes back to when we first bought this house, that was the goal.
What was the goal?
Kind of a 50-50 true partnership split.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Of the normal mortgage.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we changed that when I decided to start a business.
Yes.
Okay. All of a sudden I was like, wait a second. Did that not? Yeah. Okay. This makes me very uncomfortable. The most uncomfortable in the world.
Why?
I'm not cry.
Why does it make you the most uncomfortable in the world?
Because I feel like I'm failing you. And that, you...
Is that something I put on you, or is that something...
When the goal is not clearly communicated to me, it goes back to all of my childhood wounds of of not being able to measure up. So I think I would really like yeah, to know, I'm like panicking. Every single one of my nervous systems, things are going off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it was this giant leap of faith to bring on somebody part-time so that the business could keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think my body always responds with immediately, oh, you must not be working hard enough, Lauren, because if you had been working hard enough, you would be making more money and you would be like meeting his expectations and beyond. Like, he would not have to ask you this. Like, yeah. So I am telling myself that that is not what you're saying at all. That is years and years of stupid conditioning. I'm also going into my body and touching that piece of old patterns that were scarcity mindset with my father. I feel so fascinating to learn to tune into your body because like where the panic goes is so fascinating. Like where it goes in my body, right? And yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry if I've disappointed you. And
You haven't.
do you wish sometimes that I would bring it up?
No. Mm-mm. I just want you, like for you, I want you to own equity in this house, like more than you do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then like by you owning more equity in the house, we save a lot of money in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. I hate it.
Mm-hmm. And you're exactly right. Like looking at the thousands and thousands and thousands that go to interest on a mortgage is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree that it's like an acceptable like means of debt, or it's commonly said that like, yeah, that's the fine one. Everybody says that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like nice that the consensus is that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really agree, because you can save. I love a good deal.
I know.
So even like, yeah,
Right.
$250, $300, $500 over a month. You know, I like doing it. Like sometimes I'll send over a month. So that's all. And then, yeah, we can have that conversation. And I get hesitant bringing it up too, because
Of what just happened. I know. I'm so sorry.
there's nothing you can do to apologize or own. Yeah, but there is something. It's something I have to push past, where it's like, don't bring it up because there's going to be consequences to you bringing it up. But then again, I don't want to be defensive with you. I don't want to tell you how to behave.
Mm-hmm.
So I just try to give you space.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah,
You're
because
welcome.
it's not about you. You haven't done anything wrong. These are all, and I think gentle exposure therapy is the way to work through this. And I think that was a really fascinating experience, to be able to notice where it was going in my body. And after my burning ritual, like one of the things I'm releasing with that like piece of the umbilical cord that I've just cut to my parent is, that type of kind of not being able to look finances right in the eye because of all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I reject that, and I want to leave it behind.
Okay.
And if I want to do that, that means moving into something else. And yeah, it's really odd. Thanks. It gives me something to push into. I'll journal about that a little more too.
Yeah.
Do you remember when, this is funny, this refers back to the reason we were driving home late that one night was because, Jay pulled cards for me, and the one in the past was a scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't want to have it. It's weird. It pushes into all corners of all my things. All of them. It's the strangest. This concept of you can be anything you want, but really don't try too hard, because the real thing that you're supposed to be is a wife and a mother who is dependent, who is not able to take care of those types of things. Like, you really shouldn't do those things. If you look at the statements from the church fathers, like the Council of Nicaea, it's like that women are of lesser mind, right?
Okay.
The reason women aren't supposed to serve in church leadership is because they do not have the mental faculties that men do, right? And so I think, talk about a body-based belief that still lives there. That was a body-based response that I had, which signals like there are still things that are wrapped around literally my body, right? And one of them is these beliefs that I am like of lesser mind. That go. So anyway.
That's good. You should be like really excited about paying the mortgage so you can stick it to those motherfuckers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Well, and it was the proudest thing of my life before, right? When in my single season, it did. It felt so triumphant, to be so financially
stable.
Yeah. And independent.
And,
to make choices, right? To spend more one month, less one month. It just feels so good. And so we've talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on here, but the choice to start over, right? To start a business again, put me in a state of financial dependence. And that was really horrifying.
Yeah.
Because it felt like going back in time, which you just kept saying, nope. And we talked about this a lot, like it being more of an investorship versus like gender-based dependency. But it felt like that to my body. So
do you feel like you have your financial independence back?
This is where it is. And I think small business owners, you'll understand this too, right? Like, I'm in a really good place, right? If we were to step back and do a 5-year plan, I think everyone would be like, wow, look at you. Yeah, doing a really good job. But it is, we're still at that place where there are seasons of, it's entrepreneurship. There's great and like, there's months where it's great, and then there's months where it's like, okay, wasn't as great as last month, and then the next month is a little better, and then whoa, right? Like over the span of a year, awesome.
Great.
But it is not like incredibly. It's just small business ownership in year 2.
Do you feel like you have it back? Your financial independence?
Almost.
Great.
Not back, almost. And I think, so anyway, I will just obviously do some work on my body.
Okay.
Because that was telling. Yeah, but I don't ever want you to be afraid to bring it up.
I hesitate, but then I do it anyway because that's our partnership.
Yep.
That's kind of, and then it's a safe space for you to kind of go through your stuff where I don't tell you to knock it off.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Knock it off. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's new to me. It's new. Even though we've been together for 4 years. But it's like.
What's new?
Well, just the kind of like, hey, are you in a position to do this? And then you go and like, am I failing you? I go, what? And I can see where certain people, certain men, and I've heard this in the past where they'll hit you with a, don't be ridiculous.
Yes.
Or you always do this or something like that. Instead of just holding space. Yeah, where my job was then, and I mean, it's caught on these cameras, is to shut the fuck up and just kind of hold space and then maybe ask more questions or not say anything at all.
How do you do that in your body? You've got to want to say that because seeing your reaction.
Oh, it's on here. It's you'll see it when we do playback, but
What did you do?
I was just quiet.
Oh. How do you restrain from what's going through your head? Like, don't say anything.
No, nothing like that. It's just like, it's almost like, I don't know, maybe getting like salt shotgunned in the face.
Oh.
Maybe where it's a little stunning.
Okay.
Those bug things, it's the new technology where it's like you buy a clear little plastic shotgun full of rock salt. And so, and then it air compresses and it shoots rock salt at bugs, and that's how you kill bugs. Oh. It's so fun. Sorry, bugs. But it's probably the equivalent of getting that in the face.
Okay. Mm-hmm. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Except like you're walking into it.
I don't know I'm walking into it.
Forget?
I don't know what I'm walking into, but I know it's kind of a wound, and then we've had this conversation. We've had similar mortgage conversations a bunch, and then because it's been a place of stress for me, it's been a place of stress for you, so it is a stressful conversation. I mean, no, it's okay. We have stressful conversations, but yeah. I mean, it's way easier to talk, about penises and vaginas than it is like the mortgage sometimes.
Yeah. Well, isn't that interesting? It's in the top 3 of things that break a partnership apart. Yeah.
Infidelity, like redoing a kitchen, and what else?
Well, like household burdens, chores, right? I mean, the dishes, Dishgate, we know.
Yeah, Dishgate. Dishgate was a Ruggate.
Chores / like mental load, that type of thing. So household burdens, sex, which I think actually we talk about fine, but sex, and then money. I mean, but I think for every single couple / partnership / whatever, it's going to kind of rank differently, but yeah, those things. Because we're all a compilation of our lived experiences. Mm-hmm. We didn't just come to partnership like fresh babies out of a womb. We came with so much. And I am so thankful for you that you are willing to hold, space for things that have nothing to do with you. So thank you. What I'm trying to tell myself is like, the reason you have these conversations with me is that, yeah, you want to call me to being all of myself, right? Like you said, like you want me to have equity in this home. You want egalitarian partnership. That the reason you're having these conversations with me is not to not to rule over me like a landlord.
Not to reprimand you. And it's also, it goes back to what you said, where it's like investing in your business.
Of course.
And this is kind of this is one of the, I guess, the benefits of it, where it's, we get to, and it's, I completely hear what you're saying. And it's really, it's like we come up with a game plan of what you're comfortable with. I'm not asking you to sacrifice. Just, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny on like what limiting beliefs, you know?
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry.
Still hilarious. Don't
It's the funniest thing where you
anybody's
you insult people and then you get off sexually on it, like apologizing. It's the funniest thing.
To each his own.
Did you not do the dishes? I'm so fucking sorry.
Yeah, the limiting belief, right? Like, where did that come from, right? Where's the root of that? Where's... Just so
because like, know this.
I am so powerful.
And know this, like listeners and subscribers and people that don't like us, like, she's not saying this to manipulate me.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not being manipulated right now.
No. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
How would I... Please go into how I would be doing that.
Hey, could you help paying the bills? And then I get a bunch of tears. It's not a manipulative thing.
No. What would I be manipulating to? I guess...
Not helping pay the bills.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this like a little while ago, that kids, when they're little, children raised as boys learn when they're little, and we have mothers around, okay? At some point we realize, like, oh, actually they're not like all ruling beings, right? Like, they're just human. And so we all learn ways to lie, as little people, to exert power over.
Or avoid consequences.
But exert power over. When you would hide your report cards, it was the same thing, right? Like, I'm going to remain powerful in this moment so I don't get screamed at by the mother, right? Right.
I would say to avoid the consequence of getting screamed at by the mother. I don't know if there's a power dynamic in that.
Okay, that's still, that
Or maybe
works.
the power, I can still ride my Huffy. Maybe that's the power dynamic.
What's a Huffy?
Huffy's a bicycle. Oh. You didn't know what a Huffy was? Even in homeschool, they wouldn't show you a Huffy?
Maybe that's what my brothers rode.
Yeah. Maybe a mongoose. Come on.
Oh, I do see one.
Come on. Yeah. Mongoose, dude. If you had a mongoose on the block, holy shit. Yes, yeah.
The really long seat, you could put a whole nother person on the back. It was very fun.
Or you could stand on, I don't remember what they were called, those steel things. And then if you caught like your ankle on it.
It was the most painful thing in the world.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, they didn't think to put rubber caps on the end.
It was so fun being a kid back then.
Yeah. Okay, so at some point when we were little, Bell Hook says, or her opinion is that little boys learn to lie to keep power because they realize that moms aren't that powerful. Okay. And that little girls learn to do the same thing, but they also learn to lie to feign powerlessness. So what you were just saying, like to manipulate through tears, to manipulate through, help me, like I'm a princess in a tower.
Sure.
And I've talked with a lot of my clients about this and have done a lot of journaling for myself. And 100%. Like this concept of poor me, and I said this point blank to a friend's face the other day. She was going through a relationship struggle. And I said, I'm going to shoot straight with you. You are pretending to be powerless in this moment. You know exactly what to do. The person I know is strong and brilliant and knows how to handle this conflict. Your body is going to powerless, sure. And that's what I just felt my body do too. My body just went to powerless when you started bringing up this conversation.
Okay.
Like literally, honey, I felt like a child.
Okay.
It's insane. You didn't do it. My body did it. When I make financial decisions every single day, which I know is the person you know me to be. So thank you for your patience. Yeah, no, that was not to manipulate. Maybe it was when I was little, but not now. No, that's not the type of partnership we have. But wow, is that a body response in me?
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, these fucking people love our conflict too. So.
Oh my God. Did you bring that up on purpose as we sat down in these chairs?
Not on purpose. It was just...
Where did that come from?
It came from a place of brutal honesty. Like...
Yeah, brutal. Come on.
Almost like a... Yeah, like a... You know me, like a tally.
Yeah, but where did the tally come from? Like, this is what gets me. Yeah, share with me. But like, what?
This is why I don't bring this shit up.
I know, but you need to because you just forced me into this fucking chair.
I forced you into this chair, huh? I didn't force you into this chair.
What have you been tallying? Where are the tally marks? Come on, lay them out for the people, and for my nervous system.
The output recently on the podcast. Mm-hmm.
What?
Getting ready for like the guests that we're gonna have on. Just
the time you put into that.
Well, the time I've put into.
Okay.
I guess the investment in your business. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're looking at me like. Why are you looking at me that way? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Why you give me the side eye?
I feel as though I have repeatedly said, please stop. Like, please don't do that. We don't need to do that. I came down the other day and
this is why I hesitate bringing these things up, because the solution is not to stop either.
Okay.
That's not the solution.
Okay.
Stop. Don't do any of it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not the solution.
Okay. What's the solution? Me to pay half of the mortgage?
No, that's not the baby. That
I know. I'm teasing
okay,
a little bit.
All right, thank you.
I'm teasing.
Thank you for clarifying. I'll pay all the mortgage.
I don't know.
You go smoke your weed in the basement. I'll pay all the mortgage.
I don't.
It's not a healthy place. Fully acknowledge that it's not a healthy place. And you know what it was? It was waking up and the stress of like the small amount of stress of getting in these chairs and doing this, and then it's a constant thought, honey, as far as the mortgage, and the original game plan when we purchased this house was, hey, we're gonna have this, like we're gonna do it together.
Yes, and then we renegotiated, and we did not. We
Correct.
have not renegotiated like we need. That makes me feel really bad.
Well, there've been soft negotiations. There've been soft negotiations
but
where
to be held for something to be held over my head like that doesn't have a clear statement, and I understand based upon my response.
Am I holding it over your head? Do I hold it over your head?
Well, this became a tally mark. I don't know. Maybe that's maybe it's not over my head. Maybe it's to the side.
Okay, well, the tally thing is where I go to, honey. Like you go to your childhood stuff, but I don't hold it against you, or I don't use the phrase, I'm holding your child, like where you go to your childhood stuff over your head.
Okay.
Do I get the tally marks held over my head where you don't get
No.
childhood wounds held over your head?
No.
I don't want to hold anything over your head.
No, I don't think I'm holding anything.
I don't want
over
you to
your
hold
head.
anything over my head
I'm
either.
not. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
don't mean to do that. No. I think for both of us, it's a sign that something else is going on under the surface. That's all. Because we go to our juvenile places. That's what we always say, right? It doesn't feel like an us conflict. It feels like a conflict of our two pubescent selves.
Yeah.
right? Lauren's like freaking out and crying and frozen.
Okay.
And Trey's over there tallying. You don't do that a lot. But I think it's a sign to me that, something's not being said, right? One of our conversations is not being said. And I know that you are an Enneagram 1, and I know that you love being true to your word. It's beautiful. It's my favorite thing about you. But when you consistently bring up, and our original agreement was fill in the blank, it freaks me the fuck out, because I'm like, yeah, I know that. It was one of the scariest things of getting into this business, of which upon we renegotiated that original contract. And so to always be referencing that original contract freaks me out that I am failing you.
Okay.
I would like us to truly renegotiate, so we have something new to stand on.
Okay.
It feels unfair,
All
for
right,
lack of a better word.
I'd be happy to stop bringing that up. And hear me, like, I don't mean to hold it over your head. If that's how you feel, then I'll stop bringing it up, because I don't want to hold.
Because you don't like that same thing being done.
I'm not
to
here
you.
to hold anything over your head.
And I'm sorry. I don't mean to hold. I love you the most.
I love you the most. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trophy wife. It's my trophy wife.
I don't know what I call
Seen
you.
and not
Trophy
heard.
husband?
Seen and not heard, but we're working on that too.
Okay, but let's go back to all of the output you did over the past few days. I think this goes to, for me, it goes to the kitchen dishes.
It's very unhealthy, but it's a stress response. Okay. Where it's an unhealthy place. And then it's the feeling of failure too, because I can't hook up. What we're doing is we're doing guests now on this podcast, and I'm trying to hook these fucking Canon cameras up to, and I feel like an idiot because I can't figure out to get the cameras to hook up to the Riverside.fm. And so we have shitty video, and yeah, so it's stressful. And it's silly too, because these aren't real problems. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they aren't real problems, but it's real stress. And then I feel like I'm putting it on myself. So it's one of those things.
I'm so sorry.
And then it's like, if I don't conduct it, who will? But I can. The healthy thing would be like, hey, babe. And I did, actually. I went to it like, hey, I can't figure this shit out. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have shitty audio as long as we have we'll have shitty video as long as we have good audio. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where I could ask you for help, but I don't. And I don't. And one of the things is like, and this brutal honesty here was like, A, maybe she doesn't have the capacity. B, like, maybe she can't do it. C, this is her day off.
D, she won't do it as well as I will.
Yeah.
I know.
And then fucking M, I put all this together like I'm the technical guy. So, and then, yeah. And I'm a staunch capitalist. And, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And that all tallies up, and then it's like, oh shit, this is a big investment. I would love to see some dividends.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair.
Right.
I think that might be pretty shitty, maybe to bring it up this way.
Yeah.
Versus a different way, but I generally bring up things in unhealth versus like, and you know what, babe? You're right. We don't have something that we can stand on as far as an agreement of this thing that's important to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, let's bring Holland back in. I've literally written 3 different contracts for her. Mm-hmm. Every single time we negotiate different roles and income and yada, yada, there's a new contract. It would be very easy to be like, that's not a big deal. It is a huge deal to me. To make sure I am delivering to people what is promised, and to make sure I'm able to hold her accountable for what was promised to me. Mm-hmm. It's not unkind. It's consensual and clear communication.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I need some of that.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to say because it's like, in my mind, it's like, why aren't you giving more? So, that's me fainting. Yeah. So, yeah. Make sure and like and subscribe.
Happy times with Lauren
Motherfucking
and Trey.
podcast.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Okay. Okay. So, why don't we... I don't think we always need like a plan. Yeah, but why don't we on we're about to go out to the Californias in a couple weeks. If we haven't done it before then, let's definitely just set some time down too, because I need some space and capacity to have another meeting with my COO, CFO, and CEO. Little come to Jesus with them, which everybody has to do with their admin teams at some point to negotiate their salary. I need to negotiate my salary with my admin team, because Lauren, the employee of Sex Ed for You, needs to come back and say some things. Why do you have that face?
Keep going. I'm listening.
Okay. And this is a thing I get into, is just like the hamster wheel of the work that I do. And I need a little like zoom out.
Okay.
What?
Keep going. I'm listening.
So let's do that. And let's write some things down. And put it in a place where we can see, where it's an agreed upon commitment. And yeah, I know I can do it.
Okay.
And I won't feign powerlessness. And I will step into who I know I can be. And then if I cannot, I will clearly communicate it to you.
I got to do a better job of clearly communicating to you also, like what I'm comfortable with, what I'm not comfortable with. Because it's not fair to you if I don't. Because you'd rather not me take on these responsibilities and then tally and then build resentment. Yeah.
I would so much rather you say, me say, like you say, babe, I'm just not at a point where we can bring on a guest. Like, I need us to cancel it.
Or you just do it.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I don't want to be there for it.
Right. Or, I mean, just so many things. Like, babe, I'm going to give this a 30-minute trial and error run. And if it works, great. If not, it's an FFT.
Yeah, we're using our webcams.
And you good with that? Right.
Yeah.
And me saying, yeah.
Yeah, this is a solution. Like, if you want to pursue it on your end, I'm at a standstill.
It's what you always say to me, like, hit end over the net. Like, here's how far I can serve it, right?
Yeah,
and
like
then
that.
Respond. We're built so differently. I'm built to respond. You're built to like project in and fix something. So it's got to feel so much more frustrating your body. I'm meant to try something once and then be like, ooh, okay, how can I make that better the next time? It is the way I go. I blaze this trail. I respond to a need, and then voila, wisdom comes to me. I don't have the skill that you do to look into something before it's begun to know how to do it. I just don't even know how to do that. So I'm so fine always with having like something shitty in the beginning, because I think that those are the bravest people who have the courage to show up and just fucking try.
Yeah.
So I go at that from a different place. I'm not going to ask you to step outside of what is comfortable for you. That's wrong. That's like,
I do that myself.
oh
Yeah, I do that myself, honey. And I want to be there, and I kind of want to be, I want to be the person you can rely on, and then it becomes kind of a detriment to me. So, because then I build resentment.
yeah.
Because like you're the employee, you're the boss and the employee, and Holland, wonderful. so valuable to the employee. I'm kind of the investor volunteer. And that's how I feel sometimes, where it's like, fuck. And I've done that to myself, and I'm happy to help. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's got to be a boundary for me, because I don't need to put this shit on you.
No, it's got it. Literally,
because
it's gonna.
It's that's unhealthy, and that's not cool to me.
It's just like the dishes. When we've made that agreement now with the dishes, that if we do somebody or one of another's dishes, it's done out of love and abundance, and then it's fun.
And then the me seeing dishes in there, that doesn't affect me like it did a year ago.
I know, because
it's like it'll get done,
right?
Or it won't. I don't care. Like it doesn't take any more mental space up in my head. Granted, the baby leaves her bowl of like Count Chocula in there. I'm like, what the fuck? The dishes. I do have that thought where it's like, hey, baby, clean it out. You can't. Yeah. So I do have that, but I just let it go.
She said to me the other day, because I said baby, and she goes, yeah, and I said, I was calling Trey, and she goes, no, Trey is babe. I am baby. I was like, that's first of all true. Second of all, adorable that you two know the difference between babe and baby. Isn't that hilarious? Yeah, she like responded to it. Yeah, I have hope for us, because we did.
I have hope.
I have hope because we did navigate Dishgate and come out stronger and having consensual communication, right? Even the other night on a Wednesday, where it's a long day for me, then I go to exercise, and then I go out with my Wednesday friend. There were dishes in the sink from my meals that I'd made that day. Coffee hadn't been prepped, but you'd done it the 3 days prior. And I looked you in the eyes, and I was like, I have every intention to do this when I get home. I understand. I see this. Please leave it for me. And you said, or I can do it out of love and abundance. And I said, 100%. I got home. It was all there. I had so much fun. I like put on a pie. I like those evening times. I'm not going to leave a messy kitchen.
Same thing Sunday night, where it's like, it's time to fold laundry. We generally do it together. You were doing something else downstairs, and you're like, hey, well, don't start without me. I go, no. I put on like I put on a dumb action movie from the 90s, and I fold laundry, and it's like super fun for me. Yeah. I'm not doing this out of like, where's my help? Yeah. I'm not doing it out of where's my help? Yeah. So I got to be careful on doing stuff, and then when it kind of clicks on of like, where's my help? I got to communicate that better.
Because I do love helping you.
Yeah.
And I think your ability to project in and see what something needs could be the first thing. Yeah. It's awesome. It's a skill. Then I know it takes time and effort to communicate, but if you're able to communicate, like you ran out and did errands, tried to get cords, all these types of things, right? They weren't even the right cords, right? That could be delegated. I can leave the house too. I love running errands, especially on like a day off, like, because that's work. That's really work. And you don't have to do that, right? Only if it's a joy, like only.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to actually trust that. When you say that, I need to actually kind of back you. Like I need to do what you say in that situation, where it's like, only do this if you can. If you have
I think you can refer back to now, thankfully, our other two instances, the dishes and the laundry. Yeah, you're exactly right. We have something to stand on now, as opposed to earlier days in partnership where we didn't have history together. I want to be able to meet your expectations, right? Like have them clearly communicated in order to meet them. I want to be able to meet yours.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think you want a grumpy husband who's martyring in the basement.
That's a good job. Way to wheel of consent it. Yeah. It's horrifying, because you know what it ends up making me feel like?
A kid?
Like I'm taking from you non-consensually. It makes me feel like I'm a perpetrator.
Yeah, and it makes me feel like I'm giving. Like it makes me feel like a martyr. Yeah. Like, I'm doing this for him. It's like, fuck that. That's so dumb.
The shadow side of service, right, is martyrdom, do-gooder. Yeah, like all those types of things. And it's a horrible place to be in. Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it sucks.
And I don't want you to be there, right? I mean, it's like my biggest fear, for all of this. We don't have to do this.
Cool.
Right? Yeah. So simple game plan going forward is I will have a meeting with my admin team, and while we are in California, we'll have a date that is non-confrontational where we will, I will present to you what I would like to do in this season, and then you can negotiate with me, right? You can say that's not enough, that's too much, whatever, like negotiate seriously. And then I will either type up a contract or write out a contract that will live on our refrigerator, that will be pasted there.
Okay, cool. And then can we just recalibrate can we just do like a recalibration of all the bills and
think
bring
so.
everything?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's good for both personal, business, and just to see everything.
There might be stuff we should let go. I don't know how many streaming services we have currently.
Don't you dare touch our streaming services, honey.
So many streaming services. We pay
Don't
more than
you
people
dare.
have cable,
I need Hulu, honey.
And Netflix and Prime and...
Those are my children, honey. That's like my cat, okay? Just feed the cat, keep feeding the streaming services. NBC needs our money.
Peacock, yeah.
Peacock
too.
Yeah. You want to do the thing in the...
So many.
You want to do the thing in the camera?
Does that sound good for you?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, it sounds great.
Well, yeah, so what is it? Okay.
Sorry I kind of hijacked the podcast today.
Yeah, when we had that little brainstorm in the hall, what are we going to talk about today? That would have been a nice one. How you're not taking care of me, Lauren. That would be good.
Those are not my words. Not my words, honey.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Hi, everybody. You're welcome to your favorite content. I'm gonna have to go take a trauma nap.
Nobody wants to watch. This is so awkward.
Oh my God. I hope you put it in like fast forward or something, because I felt like I was saying one word every minute. If you are still here, I hope this was a benefit to you. I hope you see that conflict is unavoidable inside of partnership. And it's okay. It's one of the reasons that I really wanted to start this podcast, because I had so many clients coming back to sessions feeling so disheartened when they would learn a principle and then they would stumble inside a partnership because of humanness. So if this was validating to you and you'd like to learn more about some of the things that Trey and I try to practice and are not always good at practicing, you can click the free consult link in the caption or in the other stuff. You can go to www.sexedforyou.com/free consult, or you could say, those people are nuts. I don't want to work with that lady. That's fine too. My gosh. Also, I didn't want to do a podcast this real. Anyway, remember, these are our opinions. This is how we work through things. Every single person is going to be different. Please let your partnership be unique to you. Take what you like, leave the rest. Have a beautiful day. Bye, everybody.